welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks Data. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who just got done with a very arduous session of sandbag training. It's Tom Trezimer.
First things first, do you have a 20-pound shop vac? Because we're going to have a serious cleanup in that other room.
How much sand did you get on my floor?
At least 30 pounds.
So it's a beach in there.
It's a beach now.
So even if I hire a crew to clean up, when they leave, it's still going to be a beach in there.
You do have 2 cats. It could just turn into a litter box room.
Yeah, you're right. Just throw some litter on top of it.
All right, so I want to get down to this.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to analyze Elektra's sandbag training in Daredevil?
So it's when you see the movie, right? So I saw the movie, 2003. I thought Jennifer Garner was cast really well in this movie. I remember enjoying Colin Farrell. I don't have negative feelings against this movie. I liked Michael Clark Duncan. I didn't hate it. But during this sandbag training scene, I wasn't in my data mode yet, but I remember wondering why she drew a face on one of the sandbags. Because that's what really opened the door for me going, wait, so she drew that on a sandbag trainer. Did she draw it beforehand? Did she rig it to the hoist, draw it, and then have the hoist take it back up? So that was me way back in the day thinking about this movie. And as I got into my data again, I've been rolling for a couple of years when I made this movie, when I tackled this movie. So I just thought, you know what? I'm going to cover this sandbag trainer, because if you watch the scene, if you go to moviesfilmsandflicks.com, you will see the article. It's entitled Analyzing Elektra's Sandbag Training Scene in Daredevil. You watch this scene, and you were laughing. So you were just reading the article, and you were laughing because this is the most impractical room to do a sandbag trainer in.
It's incredibly impractical. It looks like a dining room.
Yeah, it's like a massive room that you hoist? I'm thinking about where you host events.
It's not a dojo. This is where you bring your hoity-toity, high-class friends and family to have a dinner party with. Yeah. This isn't where you would rig sandbags and then cut them to pieces.
Now, the crazy thing is, you remember on Batman, that really long table? You picture that table being in here in dinner parties, like a Downton Abbey type thing. To set up these sandbag trainers, I just started thinking to myself, and the good thing is for us, so you and I worked on a lot of film sets, right? So we have been around a lot of rigging. We've been around a lot of speed rail. Every soundstage has rigging on the top. But the problem is, I knew that this needed speed rail. So I looked at the room and I decided that she needed 290 feet of speed rail, right? And that's because the room is probably like 20 feet by 30 feet. And
At least.
I tracked how far she moved. I think the sandbags are about 5 feet apart, right? So during this training, and also during the making of documentary of this, they showed the whole set. So I got to count and see how it was set up. It wouldn't be set up like that in real life. But I just thought, they're not going to build a permanent rig in this room for her sandbag training. It's not practical. I mean, who's buying the sand?
Unless she doesn't have any friends.
It's true. But I just thought they'd probably put up speed rail, right? And rig it to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then each of these sandbags had to be part of an individual hoist. Mm-hmm. Where if you look at a lot of playhouses or you go to a lot of stages for plays, you'll notice that there's individual hoists for a lot of these. So each sandbag is... Basically, I wanted to tackle this because...
It's got to be on its own individual pulley system.
Yeah, it's on an I guess I want to do it because it's an incredible amount of work for 35 seconds of training. Now, that's barely enough to break a sweat for her.
And it's not even time-lapsed. It's legitimately 35 seconds.
And another thing is, I don't know how good this is for training. So I'm not a ninja, right? You know that, Tom. I'm no ninja, right? I could never sneak up on anybody. But she's training to she's timed every single one of these bags to drop. There's no improvisation to any of it. So it's more like a ballet.
It's all based off of muscle memory.
So when you're out there fighting, you don't know where the henchmen are coming from. So there's very little... So this is more of just, she plugged it into... So I think there's a Pelican case inside of the room that controls all the hoists. And they're all on remote timers. Mm-hmm. And she set each timer.
Hooked up to some sort of computer system.
Yeah, and it's just a Pelican case.
It's got to be run digitally, yeah.
And so she plugged in all the timing for this. No one is setting this timer for her. So she's there setting it up. So she knows when each one is going to drop. And I just kind of thought to myself, that's not the best way to train. Also, I kind of thought each bag I said is about 10 pounds. And in this training scene, she takes out 13 different sandbags. Oh, so there's 130 pounds of sand on the ground. Mm-hmm. After these. So who's cleaning it? They just open up a whole lot of questions.
It's a can of worms at that point of what is going on. Who's cleaning it up? Who rigged it? Mm-hmm. How is it timed? Is she pushing the button? Is it timed off of Evanescence's song?
Yeah, bring me because
it's a whole
bass drops.
Is it the bass drop? Is that the first Sandbag hit?
Yeah.
Like there's so much elements to this that it's really interesting diving into.
When the guy says, "Can't wake up," does something drop?
Yeah.
Leave me there.
Wait, cut the bag.
Wait, I don't think that's part of the song. Leave me there. So I don't think money wasn't an issue because her parents are billionaires, right? And so she wants revenge. So I also wrote in my article that she's not thinking clearly. Her father was killed, right? By some dude I think she liked. And I don't think when you have that much money, you do weird things. She obviously can't go to a gym, but she trains somewhere because Jennifer Garner got just jacked for this role. So I think she has to have multiple rooms in the house, and this is her Sandbag room. Yeah. So they removed everything.
They removed all the furniture. It's in storage.
And there's nothing, and it's also interesting. Oh, I also figured that when you watch this clip, there's nothing along the side of the wall. So there's no counterweights, there's no locking rails, and there's no belayed rope lines. So that's why I figured everything was rigged from the ceiling on hoists.
It's gotta go through the ceiling,
yeah.
But then, all of it's gotta be in the ceiling.
And then to make it plausible, they're not going to go into another room. I mean, this is a large house. Like, you can't just knock down walls. So that's why I don't think trussing was used. So I just said speed rail. I do think electricians came in because the electricians had to rig all the hoists. All these run off their own power. So,
oh yeah, you'd have to have some sort of rigging grips to rig the speed rail.
And they couldn't,
in terms of film crew wise, if she's finding people, out there in the real world to rig this stuff, you got to have some sort of grip to rig it, at least a 2-3 man crew. Then you're looking at 2 or 3 just electricians to be able to mess with the electrical stuff behind it.
And this is an older home. I don't think all these hoists would work in one socket. So they had to beef up the electricity.
She's probably got like an external generator outside.
Think of all the ampage.
Yeah.
You can't just plug those into one.
They're running power from somewhere else.
And in these old houses, I don't think that's that.
No,
there's
it
not
becomes
that much.
A fire hazard.
Yeah. So they couldn't get scissor lifts into the room because it's not base level. So you can't get a scissor lift in there. So they had to ladder all this, which
probably
is crazy.
10 to 12 foot.
10
to 12 foot step ladders to do all this stuff. That's a lot of manual labor for 35 seconds.
And then, so there's more bags left. So I think she has 2 settings. I think she does a 35 second, then I think she does another 35 second. But then she has to go reattach 20 sandbags, 200 pounds worth of sacks. So who's buying the sand?
And I'm looking at these pictures, and it's interesting that these sandbags don't have like eye loops and hooks. Like, they're all knotted. They're tied, like bow tied to the rope.
Yeah.
She's not tying those. So then do you have like some knot expert come in? Because those have got to be good knots. I mean, you think about those sandbags falling, 8 to 10 feet, the inertia and the gravitational force coming off those sandbags. Those knots are holding those sandbags. Like, there's some serious ingenuity behind this setup.
And the way that they drop, there's no bounce. Mm-hmm. So when they drop, they don't go like, when you just drop something, it bounce like a bungee. It doesn't bungee. These things are timed to drop perfectly so the sandbags don't bounce.
That's true.
So so they said, how long does it take to drop this without a bounce? So they had to plan that out as well.
They had to measure all to her height. Think of the choreography just to go into this.
She latched on her size and flipped around on them. And so they had to do it arm apart. She had to set that like that so she could stick her size in there and do a backflip.
Do you think what came first, the choreography or the sandbags? Do you think they hung the sandbags?
The choreography would have to come first because you can't just willy-nilly. Now, you can take a ladder and go up there and adjust the hoist. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So I think the choreography came and was built specifically for that. Now, did they have to move some hoists around? I think, on speed rail and how the hoists are set up, you can move them either way on that speed rail if you have the really long stuff. So, I guess, so it's just, all right, so basically, here's the thing. For this one, they needed 13 hoists for this particular workout. That worked independent, but they're on a remote. A remote timer, 290 feet of speed rail. But you also needed clamps. You know how many clamps were needed on this? I mean, a lot of that. 2 clamps on timers to release the sandbags that swung. So you have to have a clamp holding one of the bags at an angle for it to drop. Does that make sense? So you had to plan those out specifically so they look like that. Then you need 130 pounds of sand, a shop vac, 1 red Sharpie, and her shoes had to be slip proof because sand.
Yeah, you start sliding on that sand. It's probably hardwood floor.
What do you, like ballet shoes?
Probably.
I mean, actually, I'm looking at
her feet here. They might just be black Nikes. I don't know.
So that's why I wanted to do this because, it would cost at least $20,000 to install, at least, to crew and the hoists. I mean, hoists are not cheap because I did a lot of research on them. But That's why I love this movie, man.
Is that including probably the $10 an hour for a janitorial staff to come in at the end and sweep and clean all that stuff back up?
I mean, wait, do
buff
they
out the floor? You're walking on all that sand. You're gonna scratch up the hardwood floor.
Well, they could. I guess they could reuse the sand.
They could reuse the sand. You still got to pay somebody to clean it up.
So when she goes to bed, does the cleaning staff get up and clean this? Because that's gonna mess up this floor.
Oh, it's gonna total that floor.
And if this isn't a mansion, that's old flooring, right? So that's the whole thing. I just wanted to. I broke down everything. I figured out the speed rails. I figured out the hoists. So I tried to make this as practical as possible, and I think I did, because you can see it in your head right now, right?
Yeah.
But that's what had to happen to build this for her. So I just kind of love that this 35-second training scene needed this much work.
Yeah, not to bash on her training session. Everyone works out their own way and does their own thing.
And she does want revenge.
But it is a lot of work for a very brief 35-second scene. Is this for herself? Is there somebody that we don't see that she's impressing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't... Again, like, you know, she's revenge motivated, but that's a lot of work for 35 seconds.
And when I trained for MMA for a long time, I used to box and I used to do all that. And so they would have me doing, what's the training where you just go balls to the wall for a minute cycle? Yeah, it's interval cycle training. So I would go balls to the walls on something for a minute and a half. Then I would go to another thing for a minute and a half. This 35-second workout it's not going to push you cardiovascularly.
How angry would you be if this was you? If you were a hot Elektra doing this and like one of your sais wasn't sharp enough to cut the bag and you just hit it, just whacked it and it didn't.
And she's just angry?
She's just angry. Or it's like if one of the bags is just like a fraction of a second off or she's swinging and misses it and you got to start over. It's like if you mess up midway through, does that mess up everything or do you just keep going?
Yeah.
Do you reset? Like how much practice did she have to go?
At least
did she have to do to go
50,
through this?
Right? And then to make sure everything's perfect.
A lot of takes.
It makes more sense to just have a bunch of swinging bags, because then you got to dodge them. If you get hit by a 10-pound bag, it's going to hurt, right?
It might knock you out.
Yeah. So there's no danger to this, and it's only 35 seconds. So it's not like a great cycle training.
I would love to live in the world where, in the movie, we don't see the perfect run. We see it mess up, and then that's it. And then she's just like, training's over.
Damn it!
And then she goes and continues.
Because if you have 5 bags of sand on the ground, you can't start over. Maybe she has a blower, and she just blows the sand out of the way. That's how I do it.
She just got a leaf blower in there.
Yeah.
She just throws it on. It's like one of those big backpack ones.
It's better than brooming. Yeah.
She just blows it into the corner, and that's where the cleanup crew...
And the bags are there, too.
She just pushes it out in the hall.
We just figured this out. She just takes a blower, blows it in the corner, and then starts scooping again, and then ties them back on.
Then resets it. I mean, it's got to be at least an hour, hour and a half.
I love it. But that's why I love this scene, man, and that's why I loved researching it. So I actually, it brought me back to the day when we worked on film sets, and, when you work inside a soundstage, you see all this crap. So it kind of brought me back to that. But yeah, no, this was fun, man. Any last thoughts about this?
Yeah, I wish I could do that. I might go buy some sais and move some crap out of the dining room when I get home and try to set up. We'll see what the wife thinks of that.
She'll love it. All right, so thanks for joining me. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Tom Tresmer, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks Data. We'll see you next week.